Well, hi folks. It's been a very long week, and when you're an internet marketer, things can get very rough, and you can get tired, and you don't know what's going on. It can be very difficult sometimes, and you just need a drink. And you go and just start get a drink, and then that makes you feel better. So I just thought I would come on here and tell you all about that today. I hope you have fun like I've been having all day just with my beer, which just like to say cheers to you as well, just cheers. But but I sound a bit funny. I sound a bit funny, and the truth is I'm not really drunk. Not really drunk. I've actually just been and I just basically got a tooth out. So that's why I sound a bit like a weirdo, and I can't talk properly because my one whole side of my mouth is completely frozen. So there you go. But anyway, today I just wanted to talk to you about a few different things. Uh, one of the things, one of the things which I don't normally talk about so much in our hangouts. It's normally about marketing strategies and things like that. But I just thought I would mention it, and I thought it's worth mentioning to people. And it's basically, with regard to your own health, because obviously, if you're marketing all the time and working and stuff, and you don't look after your health, then you're not going to be able to enjoy the fruits of what your actual marketing brings to you. What your freedom brings to you if you're sick. So I'm going to tell you a wee quick story about what happened to me, basically, and it happened. It was about 2 years, just over 2 years ago, and 2 years ago I started getting really bad pains, which I actually thought it was my back. I thought it was my back. It was really bad pains, and it was like I would get up in the morning and I couldn't literally walk. I couldn't move. It was just absolute agony, really painful, and I didn't know what it was. And an event come on in Dublin with a guy called Brian Clements, who my friend Justin told me about, and I decided to go and see Brian Clements. So when I was at the Brian Clements event, I went up to Brian Clements and I basically asked him, I says, I keep getting these really bad, this bad pain in my back, and he says to me, he says that's not your back, he says that's that's your kidneys, and he says you're suffering from bad periodontitis, you've got a bad tooth. He said to me, you've got a bad tooth, there's a bad tooth, and it's causing you, the toxins are causing you the pain, basically. That's what's actually wrong with you. So that was okay. So anyway, at the event, and after that I said, right, okay, I'm going to have to go and find out what it is. And I realised that I had a bad tooth that broke. They had filled it. This is a topic you should actually research because it's very interesting if you go to the right places to research it. Obviously, if you go to a government website or you go to an ordinary dental website, they're not going to give you this information. But if you actually research it, if you watch some of Dr. Mercola's videos, if you watch some Dr. Brian Clements has a video on dentistry he talks about mainstream dentistry in the video, and there's there's lots of other videos on different proper health channels, and alternative health channels as well about this. So it's very good information. And the reason I wanted to talk about this today is if it can save other people from having to suffer, right? People who are maybe thinking about going to the dentist soon, or people who've been in the past and they don't actually know what has been, what effect different things could be actually having in you. Once again, you have to excuse my mouth because it is actually frozen and it is quite hard to talk properly, so you're just going to have to put up with me like that for today. But the bottom line is I discovered that that was what was causing, this real discomfort and this real pain. So I went and I joined the dentist. Hadn't been the dentist for years, right? So I went and I joined this dentist, and I basically went to see them, and I said, look, could you take my tooth out? So they said, no, it's part broken. We're not going to be able to take it out. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to send you to the Royal Victoria Hospital, right, to some, surgeon or something to get it out. So my dad, died about 5 years ago, and he went through a terrible lot of suffering. He was completely, the things they give him in the hospital, he'd no chance of surviving. And I try and avoid hospitals and doctors like the plague for that very reason, and because of all the things that they're doing to people with, chemotherapy and all these different things that are killing people. I really, wouldn't want anyone who's near to me or close to me to have anything to do with it. I had a friend even recently whose son died just last week from, he'd got a lot of chemotherapy, but he didn't get sick until after he took a vaccine. Now, some people would argue with it wasn't the vaccine stuff, but the child was perfectly well until he took the vaccine, and then 2 or 3 weeks later he was diagnosed with leukemia. So you can, take whatever you want from that. And different people take different things. Obviously, if you went to medical school and you believe everything they tell you about pharmaceuticals, then you probably believe that was a complete coincidence. If you've actually been reading up on what vaccines have in them and what they cause and what different things they cause to go wrong in people's bodies, you'd be more likely to probably believe that it was the vaccine. But anyway, that's all entitled to their own opinions anyway. But this I just want to tell you because it's something that we should all know about. I think it's something that we should all know about, or at least be aware of, and then make our own decisions. Obviously there are people who won't believe it or won't do it or whatever, and that's fine. But I think being aware of something is the key, because once you're aware of something, then and you can make a decision whether it's right or wrong. But anyway, I went to this dentist, and he said he couldn't take me, so he would have to go to a hospital. And basically, the hospital appointment, they couldn't get me it for like 2 months or something. It was crazy. It was 2 months. And in the meanwhile, I decided to go away, and we booked a holiday, and we went away for 3 months to Bulgaria. So I wasn't there to actually go for the whatever, and I sort of wasn't looking forward to it anyway, because it was the hospital, right? It wasn't the dentist, and I really wasn't looking forward to going anyway. So it was half a relief that I didn't actually have to go. So that was okay. So the bottom line is, over last few years I still kept getting those things, but what I was doing is I was drinking more liquids and taking a lot more liquid stuff, and I found that it wasn't as bad if I drank loads of liquid, okay, because it wasn't as there's been probably an infection or whatever in there, and it wasn't as bad as long as I was drinking plenty of liquids. But as it went on, it seemed to get worse and worse, and then the last 6 months, what I have to do is I had to take like loads of vitamin C, like lemon juice on on my food and stuff, and also I make like a garlic dip. It's like a yogurt garlic dip, but it's not made with yogurt. It's not made with dairy. It's made with sesame seeds and cashew nuts. You make like a yogurt with lemon, cashew nuts and sesame seeds, and then just add some garlic and different things, season it and stuff. So I've been having that, and it sort of kept it down. If I had that for a couple of days, I didn't get those awful pains or whatever. But just the last 2 weeks got really, really bad. I mean, it's getting to the stage where it's getting up in the morning, and I was like, couldn't move. And no matter what I ate or what I did, couldn't move. Feeling tired all the time, feeling very, very uncomfortable. And if you do the research, basically what happens is whenever they do a root canal and they go down in here, it actually can cause all sorts of problems with your body. because there's like miles and miles of wee tunnels here where these bad bacteria can go, and they can infect the whole inside of your, your mouth, and they can go into your other teeth and go around your body, and basically from under there, and there's no way for you to get at it, so you can't actually get at it to kill them or prevent it or whatever. So actually, once someone's done a root canal and done that to you, basically the only way, if that happens and it flares up and the bacteria get in, the only way to get rid of it is basically just to pull the tooth out, and then you'll be fine. So I finally pulled. I finally went after months because I was in complete agony, right? And I decided, right, I have to do this because I always, I'll go and do things for my business. I'll go and, do things when it comes to anything else. But there's certain things that sometimes put off, and that was one of the things that I was putting off. But I made a decision the other day, no matter what, I'm going to go and get this sorted out. So I booked an appointment with the dentist 5 days ago. Sorry, I joined a new dentist, okay? And I went 5 days ago. I booked an appointment. They gave me an appointment for today. And I went to the dentist. And when I asked and said my tooth was broken, the girl in the dentist says, well, you probably not take it out. You probably have to go somewhere else and stuff, but we'll bring you in anyway just to look at you. Okay, just won't do anything today. We'll just basically look at you. So I thought, right, here we go again. I'm going to go. He's going to look at me, and then he's going to say, right, we can't take your tooth out, and we'll do this and we'll do that. But I kept on saying to myself, have to get this tooth out, have to get this tooth out, have to get this tooth out, right? So anyway, I went in, he did the examination, he said, right, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, that everything should be okay for another while, or, there's no urgency, or there's nothing you need to do in a hurry. And I said, look, to be honest, this tooth has been doing such and such. Now, it's actually quite funny because he got very defensive. The dentist, because I mentioned about the pain, and I mentioned about going to the event, and the doctor said, and as soon as I said that, I could see in his face instantly he got very, very defensive, and he said, you're not a doctor or something, are you? And he was like, you could see he was nearly panicking, right? And I said, no, I said, I'm not a doctor. I said, I just went, to an event, and because I had a friend who's child was sick, and I wanted to find out more information about it, and so on and so forth, because the event was on again 2 weeks ago. It was on 2 years ago, but it happened to be on just a few weeks ago again. So I just said I heard about it at the event, and I was at an event a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't tell him exactly, which one. So the bottom line was, he turned around to me and he said, well, if you want, I don't know if I can pull the tooth out. I don't know, because it could be, broken inside and all sorts of stuff. And then you need to go to specialists and, Belfast and stuff like this. He said, but if you want, I'll x-ray. He said, I'm not a big fan of x-rays either, but anything to get this out, because this is absolutely, completely poison. I said, right, okay, x-ray me, blast me with nuclear radiation in the face. That's just what I need, give me an x-ray. So anyway, he x-rayed me, and he said it looked like it was okay. So he said he would pull it out. So he actually went and he pulled the tooth out there and then. And I tell you, I've never been so relieved in my life to get anything done. Literally, if he had told me he was going to charge me £5,000 to take the tooth out, I would have paid it there and then, because it's just such a relief. It's been giving me so much discomfort for a couple of years. And all I want to say to you, what I learned from the events in Dublin and from different things, I've seen and heard online, is, basically, the amalgam fillings have got mercury and all kinds of toxins in them. And like Brian Clement said at the event, one amalgam filling is enough to pollute a whole lake. So if you imagine what, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 amalgam fillings are doing in your body, I also have a video on one of my websites, Health Tips 202, where they do a video with a study, and you can actually see the smoke, the toxins coming off the mercury fillings that have been there for 20 years when you just sort of, touch them together or rub your teeth together, whatever. So these toxins are all going into your body, they're going into your brain, they're going into your organs, going into your liver, all over your body, all the time. So the first thing I would say, if you've any amalgam films or stuff like that, get them to take them out. There's a product he told us which is the safest one. It begins with Z. I've wrote it down somewhere, but I can't actually remember. But at least, get the amalgam fillings out, whatever you do, because they're really, really highly toxic. And the other thing you might want to do is there's a thing that he told us about, it's a toxicity test, and they can see how toxic each amalgam film is, and then they rate it by 1 to 10, and if it's like highly, highly toxic, obviously you want to take that one out first. Whatever you go to get it done, make sure you detox and drink loads of green juices and loads of things to detox your body, because obviously you're going to be getting the blast of mercury when they take the fillings out. But I would definitely recommend, that if you have any amalgam fillings in your mouth, get them taken out. The same thing, root canals can also cause areas where all the bacteria can go and infect you. They can, attack. They can actually go straight down, attack your heart. They can attack your vital organs and stuff. And basically, there's no way to get at them. So if you've had a root canal in the past and you feel funny, or you feel any sort of, discomfort, or something has changed about you recently or something, it might be very worthwhile, to just go and get that tooth pulled out, because once the tooth is pulled out, all the bacteria and all the stuff that's in under it and all these wee caverns are gone, right? They're gone, so you can actually heal properly. So your body isn't going to have all this toxic stuff coming up. Like I say, every morning I was waking up and I have all this toxic stuff coming out of this tooth, and goes into your liver, into your kidneys, into all your body, and it's like so uncomfortable. I would get up in the morning the last couple of weeks and I felt like I'd been hit by a truck, literally. I just felt absolutely horrible. So I'm just absolutely delighted to get it out. It's a new lease of life for me. So definitely I would say to you, if you've had, obviously I'm not a doctor or anything, so I'm not, medically qualified, and I would want to be, because obviously they learn all their stuff from a lot of the pharmaceutical companies who are trying to peddle drugs on people. But so you don't have to take my medical advice, but this is my personal opinion, and my personal opinion is, if you have any amalgam fillings, get them out, make an appointment. It doesn't care what it costs, because you're killing yourself, you're poisoning your body every day, and the longer they're in there, the more damage they're doing. So I would get those amalgam fillings out, as soon as you can. Even if you put the white fillings, there's another film called Zirconin or something. It's called. The Germans made it apparently, and it's meant to be the safest non-toxic thing to fill your teeth with. When I go and check my notes and find it, I will write it here under the video in the description later on. So if you come back in another few days, you'll see that I have put it in the description. But I would just really be careful. If they say they're going to do a root canal, don't do a root canal. Just let them pull your tooth out, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. The amount of damage it can do to you. There was a dentist many years ago, I can't remember his name, but if you start researching this stuff, you'll find it. And he basically said that it was really, really so dangerous. Root canals were very, very dangerous, and a lot of other procedures like that, which they do every day, and sort of think nothing of it, right? So So I would be very, very careful about that. At the end of the day, it's your life. Do you know what I mean? It's your life. You don't want to be putting toxic poison into your body that would, you don't want to put 5 amalgam fillings if one amalgam filling is enough to poison a lake. You don't want to be having people making holes in your body, where all these aerobic bacteria can go and attack every part of your body. They can attack your organs, can attack the inside your body, under the rest of your teeth and everything, and end up, damaging the rest of your teeth as well. So, definitely, be very, very careful about that. I just wanted to, talk about that today because I think a lot of people don't know about it, and I think it's only fair that everyone should know about this, or at least be able to research it for themselves. Fair enough, if you don't believe it, that's fine. There's loads of people who believe that you should have a job, and believe that having a job is the secure way to go and the best way to, run your life because they were told by the TV and by generations of people that that's what you do. But there's other people whose minds open, who realise that you're not in control of your money, you're not in control of your income, you're not in control of anything when you're in a job. You're not the driver, somebody else drives you. So, personally, I prefer to drive my own car. I don't like to be driven by other people and told where I have to go. So, I like to drive my own business. I like to drive my own life. I like to be in control of it. And by learning how things work, by knowing that you're being poisoned, it then puts you in control of whether you're happy to believe what they say, that it's not poisonous. I mean, for example, fluoride's also poisonous. I mean, they used it in the concentration camps in Germany to dumb down the Jews and, to poison them as well. So at the end of the day, Hitler used them. So, and they're giving it to us. Now, the actual fluoride that we get is actually a byproduct of the aluminium industry that would cost them probably millions to dispose of because it's toxic waste. But instead, they put it in the water. In certain countries, they put it in the water in Ireland and south of Ireland, and God knows where else to put it in. Obviously. My friend Justin, he rang up a friend of his who works in the water board, and they said, there's no fluoride or anything in the water here in Northern Ireland. But I mean, I wouldn't believe anything that they tell me, without actually going and testing it myself. So, that's all I can say. So even if you're going and you're buying, Budweiser, or you're buying any beers, quite likely the water that they're making the drinks from is even fluoridated in a lot of cases. So, you're getting it from a lot of different places. Of course, when I said to the dentist, about fluoride, he says, "Oh no, fluoride, it's only if in large amounts and all this sort of stuff, right?" Now, what you need to work out is when he says it's only in large amounts. So who says how much neurotoxin, how much poison is safe for your body to take, right? Now, if it stands to reason, if you're drinking water with fluoride in it every day, if you're putting toothpaste with fluoride in it every day, basically, if you read the back of your toothpaste packet, it says, you take a wee tiny bit of toothpaste like that, right, and you put it in your mouth, and it says, if ingested, seek medical help immediately, right? So why do they put that sign on for that amount of toothpaste? Because at the end of the day, if you're putting that amount of toothpaste into your mouth every day for 365 days, your body is actually taken into your body, probably about 25% is getting absorbed into your into your mouth, into your skin. What about the people who don't swallow it or don't know better and or who don't spit it out and who swallow some of it? All of us swallow some of it because even if you spit it out, there's still some there, right? So, who can say that it's safe to drink, a neurotoxin? If I give you a bottle of bleach and say, well, if you just take, that amount of bleach every day, you'll be all right. Just take a wee bit like that, just put it in your mouth and swirl it around, you'll be fine. Just have that amount, and we'll put some in your water, we'll put some in your food, put some in your beer, we'll put some in your soft drinks, you know, but you'll be fine. It's perfectly safe, right? So, you know, if you want to believe that, that's great. That's fine. You know, happy days. It's your health. It's your life. It's your family's life. But personally, I don't believe anything that they tell me with regard to stuff like that. So I would prefer to do the research on it. So um, that's basically all I'm going to be talking about today. I'm not talking anything about marketing. I'm not going to be giving you any marketing tips. I'm not going to be, you know, talking about how to make money from line, how to make money from home, how to get more followers on Twitter, any of the stuff like that. I'm not going to be talking about that. I just wanted to talk about that today, basically for your health, okay? If you want any marketing tips or ideas for, you know, marketing online or making income from stuff like that, we do a hangout every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. GMT. And if you check my wall, get on my email list, go to AskSatirists.com and opt in to, you know, my email lists and stuff. You'll get an email when the hangouts are coming on, before the hangouts come on. So you'll get my mailing list and you'll actually get an email before the hangout comes on. You can also check my wall or just put it in your diary. Put it in your diary on Wednesday night, 9 p.m. GMT, that's London or Dublin time. And we look forward to seeing you at the hangout. The great thing about the live hangout is there's comments below, so you can, you know, ask us any questions. We're there live to answer. It's myself and another maybe 2, 3, 4 of my teammates can be on, depending. Sometimes it's just 2 of us, sometimes 3, 4, 5 of us. So you know, we're all there to answer your questions and help you with anything that you want to know or anything you want help with. So thanks very much for coming to this drunken hangout. Hopefully the next time you see me, I'm going to be able to talk properly and my mouth's not going to be frozen anymore. It's actually starting to feel a bit better now already. So thanks very much for joining me today, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks very much.